Now we have another form of this square binomial formula. Instead of having a plus b all squared, you will might see it a minus b squared. In this case, you will use this formula, a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. It is the same formula as this one, but if you have a minus sign, you are gonna put minus 2ab instead of plus 2ab. In this case, a is y and b is equal to 1. Let's replace them in this equation, or use this equation to expand this square binomial. First of all, we start with a squared, which means that a is equal to 1. This is y squared minus, we have minus 2, we have 2, and a is y, and b is equal to 1. This will give you 2y, as you can see. Let's erase this one. We don't want this one. Back to the pen. And again, we have plus b squared. B in this case is equal to 1, and square 1 times 1 is 1. 25 is on the right side. We're gonna move it to the left side, and this is positive, and the sign of this number will flips when moving it from one side to another, and you will get minus 25. Okay, so we can simplify this equation even more, and we can add these numbers. 64 plus 1 minus 25 will give you 40. So this is the general form of an equation of a circle, and we transformed from the standard form to the general form. This is how we transform from the standard to the general form, just by expanding these two terms. But what if we are given the general form, and we need to go back to the standard form? Let's solve an example on how to do that. So we have, as you can see, this is the general form, and we need to transform it to the standard form. We will use the complete square idea we studied in the class last week in order to do that. Let's go step by step on how we can accomplish this. So this is the equation that is given, which is in the general form. First, we will group the x together, the x variables together, which is x squared minus 4. We're just doing rearranging, and then take y variables together, put them together, and take the numbers to the right side. So 68, moving it to the right side, will become minus 68. Then we will find the missing number. If you remember, we used to find a missing number over here, and its formula was half b all of that squared, and b is the value that is multiplied by x. It is the coefficient. So let's write 1 over 2, as you can see here, times b. B is minus 4. Replace for minus 4. Minus 4 divided by 2 is minus 2. Now we have squaring. Don't forget to square. So minus 2 to the power of 2 is 4. We found the first n value. Then we need the n value for the y. This is for the x terms, and we need the n value for the y. Again, let's apply this formula. B is the coefficient that is multiplied by y, which is minus 20. Minus 20 divided by 2 is minus 10, and squaring minus 10 will give you 100. So the first value of n is 4, and the second value of n is equal to 100. Add them in the equations. So this is the first value plus 4, and this is plus 100. And once we mentioned, whenever we add or do on the left side, you should do the same on the right side. This is always the case. If you add something or you subtract something on the left side, you do the same on the right side. Since we added plus 4 on the left side, add plus 4 on the right side. Also for 100, we added 100 on the left side, then we add 100 on the right side. Now we can take these, and we explained this last week, how to complete the square. Go back to the lectures and see how we explain to move from this form x squared minus 4x plus 4 into completing square, and we will get x minus 2 all squared. Plus also do the same for this one, for the y term. Completing the square, you will get y minus 10 squared. On the right side, just add the numbers together. Minus 68 plus 4 plus 100 will give you 36. So this is the standard form. As you can see, we moved from the general form, we transformed this equation, given equation, in the general form, and we got the standard form of an equation. And as you can see, the center of this equation, again, this is the x value of the center of this circle. This is the y value, which is 10, and the radius is 6. You can try another example. This is the general form. Transform it to the standard form. Use the same steps we applied and complete the squares, and you're gonna get the standard form of an equation of a circle. Its center, this is the x value, it's minus 5, and plus 2 is the y value of the center. We always, whenever we want to find the center, just flip the signs. So we have plus 5, so the x value is minus 5, and plus 2, the y value will be minus 2. And look at these numbers, what we did here. Both are negative. We just flip the signs, plus 2 and plus 10. For the radius is equal to 8, so square root of 8 is 2 radical 2. An important point we have to know about the general form, the standard form of an equation of a circle, by looking at the value of the radius. If the value of the radius is positive, greater than 0, that means you have a circle with a certain radius. If the radius is equal to 0, which means the right side is equal to 0, as you can see here, you don't have a circle. You cannot have a circle with radius 0. There's no radius. So that means that there's no circle in the first place. You only have the x value and the y values of the center. So the solution in this case is only a point, is only the center, but without a radius, which means you don't have a circle. If r squared is negative, you don't have solution. You don't have a circle. Let's take an example here. Having a general form, and we want to transform this general form to the standard form. And if you do that and you do the complete square method, you're gonna obtain 0 on the right side, which means that a radius of 0, in this case, you cannot have a circle. You just get a point, and this point is the center of the circle, which is minus 5 and plus 7. The last thing we need to do is to use the graphing calculator to graph a circle. I will explain this in a separate video.